preferences can be set there. That way, not every website on a server has to go by the same rules as what's in the master preferences.
Plus, it's handy when you have, if you have several customers and one of them manages their own users through this interface. If they log on to this interface and all of your websites are hosted in one spot, you see a full list of all the users of all the websites.
Right.
By moving each one into a ISP sandbox, they act like they're the only website on the server and there's only a copy of WebDNA for them.
Right.
So it's a great way to split up a lot of these web servers, and so that each user only sees their own list of users and passwords.
Right, because normally you wouldn't want to give, you probably wouldn't want to give these admin access to the master preferences to all your clients, especially if you have more than one client.
If you haven't used it too, it seems complicated until you use it. Then you get a list of all the sites that are on there, and each time you click one, you get another interface similar, but a little more simplified than this because it doesn't have, obviously, the ISP sandbox link and those related. But it really is an elegant way to deal with multiple users on one machine.
Right. So along these same lines, with creating a sandbox, you can also, as master control here, I kind of like that term, master control.
I have it on my T-shirt. I have a tattoo.
You also have the ability to limit some of the more core interaction, such as shell scripting. Once somebody has access to a shell script, well, they have pretty much control of the server. So you can limit the types of commands that can be performed in these sandboxes by creating some of these scripts here. I won't go into too much depth with this. It's kind of an advanced thing and something to be learned about once you get going with WebDNA, but a little out of the scope of this tutorial anyway. But basically, it's to help protect the server. Okay, so ISP hosts. These are some of the newer things as well with WebDNA. This works with hosting options, or ISP hosting store here as well, and I'll go over that when I get to that area. But also works with this ISP plans. This is new. A lot of this stuff is new in this beta build by Smith Micro, and we're documenting it right now, but we'll go over the basics, the general idea when we get down to the ISP hosting stores segment. Yeah. So triggers are, if you're familiar with Linux, they're like curl. It's basically sending it's like having a command line browser. If you need to hit a page on a regular basis, you can set a trigger in WebDNA. You can enable the trigger, tell it, let's say you want this trigger to fire every time the minute hand on the clock equals a 5, so or contains 5. So at the minute 5 it will fire, at minute 15 it'll fire, at minute 25 it'll fire, etc. So
a good way to think about this too is that the only time anything happens with WebDNA scripting is when someone's calling an URL. This is a way to make the machine automatically call an URL. It's like a robotic web hit.
Right. You can put any browsable URL in here, just like you're on a browser. You can authenticate username and password if it's needed, and yeah, it's just a basic way to automate if you need to hit a page to do something every now and then. So statistics, just some basic information about your install here. We are at version 6.1.beta 1 that we just installed. Our current username. These are tags that are all available in WebDNA for you to use in your HTML pages. For example, a lot of times, well, let's just see, you'll check for a certain username in order to do something, or you'll check for if this page is being accessed via SSL, or what else, yeah, use date and time quite often. Okay, so WebDNA also has the ability to send emails dynamically. For order receipts or confirmations or whatever, whatever you might need to send an email for, you can do that. Here's where you set your SMTP mail server, mail.yourdomain.com sort of thing, and these are the folders that emailer interacts with. That I won't go into too much detail right now, but okay. We got to reset our. This is a development copy, so
I'll let you do the math.
okay.
But when you have a developer copy, before you enter even a developer serial number, there's a timer. And about every 20 minutes or so, it'll pop up asking for a math question, just to revalidate that you want.